Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this game we are reviewing a silver support player. I believe we're mostly looking at Mercy and Bap. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit. Or if you are wanting to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of events we have upcoming, including our internal scrims. Those will be fun this Sunday. Get in there if you want to join. Okay, what do we have here? Your support partner is a Moira, so there's going to be a lot of healing, and you have a Pharah, so you're mostly going to be pocketing them. Well, that's unfortunate. 11 seconds in, we've lost a mech. You're going to cap up your Moira. You're going to transition to that. That's gone. D.Va, baby D.Va, baby D.Va. Okay. So you do need to damage boost baby D.Va, because her getting her mech back is kind of the priority. It's going to hold you guys back in terms of being able to push. You need to... Okay, you can heal people of some, but really you need to be pocketing either Pharah or baby D.Va right now. Not here. Why are you rezzing here? You Guardian Angel to the other side. You Guardian Angel past the soul that's floating there, and you res on this side where you have cover against interning shots. Why on earth would you res in the middle? You can res this soul. See how far away you are from the soul and you're still getting your res off? You can be just as far away on the other side, which gives you a tons of cover against the opponents. Ew. Ew. Damage boost. I'm not sure why you're floating in the middle of the sky when your Pharah's behind cover. So here you are. You covered this res. There's your Pharah. Damage boost your Pharah. Fine. Okay. Your Pharah is drifting left towards cover. There's no reason for you to be here. There's no reason for you to be here. You can just hard drift left. You can just hard go left and you can immediately drop. You aren't going to get left behind by your Pharah. You can just drop right here and be like, I'm safe. I have cover against the enemy team. Being here is doing you no good. No good. Hey, Cyrus Happy.
Your support has arrived.
Good. And now swap to damage boost. Damage boost. Good. Fine. Back to your Pharah. Why are you not on your Pharah?
I need healing. I'm taking care.
Escort the payload.
Okay. Okay. Your poor Pharah.
Objective A captured.
I could use some assistance.
I mean, having Super Jump in the toolkit definitely helps, but you can get past Silver without having Super Jump as Mercy. But yeah, it's a good thing to work on. What's our plan here? Do we want to damage boost the Coalescence? Do we want to heal the Moira for a moment? Do we want to heal the Genji for a moment? No. No. Heal the Genji. Where's your Pharah? Over here. I would like you with your Pharah. Moira sends out a silly amount of healing. Moira can keep your tanks alive. If Moira can't keep your tanks alive, they are just taking way too much damage. So you need to boost your Pharah instead. Let your Pharah do work. That is what you do as Mercy. Your job as Mercy is not to go, I'm just going to get the maximum possible amount of heals. If you wanted to do that, you would go back to here. You would press H, you would swap to Moira, and you'd come out and try to deliver a lot of heals. Or you'd swap to Bap, and you'd come out and you'd try to deliver a lot of heals. Mercy is good because she can enable a specific person really, really well. Like, her healing isn't bad. Don't get me wrong, she has that. Her healing isn't bad, though it's not particularly good on tanks because it makes her stay close to them, and that's not what she's good at. She's much better at like, hey, I'm going to damage boost my Pharah and I'm going to heal them some too so that they can be more aggressive than they'd normally be. I'm going to Cap back off my Moira because she struggles to heal herself. Fine. I'm going to damage boost an Ashe. I'm going to damage boost a Junkrat. Oh, my Zen is throwing out a right click. Let me damage boost that real quick. My Hog just hit a hook. Let me damage boost that real quick. You use your ability to bounce around to damage boost things as a good part of your kit. You don't go, hey, let me just heal everyone that's missing any health all the time. You are pretty heavy on the heal right now, and I want you to be thinking more about, can I enable, can I get blue beam value? And the best place to get blue beam value on your team is your Pharah consistently. Hey, Jim. I mean, yes, she did, but if we want to go back to that. Let's go back here. Too far. We're healing up Genji. That's enough. We should be back on our Pharah already. And you're saying that the Pharah is 1v6ing, but like, so far so good, right? So like our Pharah, let's look at what our Pharah is doing. If our Mercy now goes back to our Pharah, or if our Mercy goes back to our Pharah, I'm pretty comfortable in our Pharah's ability to try to force this Pharah elimination. That seems pretty reasonable to me. Instead, our Mercy's just leaving. Now the Pharah is 1v6ing, sure. Now the Pharah is 1v6ing, but there was plenty of time here to try to do work. And it's really more 1v3ing, and it could have been 2v3ing with an ult. Yeah, it's not good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the Pharah is great.
I could use some assistance. Surrender to my will. Let's undo that outfit.
We don't need to just stare at the D.Va that we're healing. We can look up so that we can avoid shots. We can look at flanks. The cool thing about Mercy's weapon is you don't have to be looking at the person you're interacting with. She's basically the only hero who can go, I'm healing this person or damage boosting this person. Let me look over here. Or in this case, let me look up there. Ah, there's a Pharah up there. Maybe I want to tell my team that. Maybe I just want to watch it so I can easily step to avoid its shots, because Pharah can't hit shots at that range. If you see them coming, you can always avoid them. Lots of better things you can do than just stare at the D.Va you're healing.
Let's get
Good.
back in the
You looked
fight.
around during the res.
Did someone call for it?
Back to damage boost.
Cease resistance.
Yeah.
Hello. Ich bin da.
Really pushed too far with that Guardian. Should have really canceled. Not sure why you're Guardianing here at all. Like the super jump, okay, but what's the super jump doing for you? Your first Guardian Angel should have been canceled early to stop here, and then you did a second Guardian Angel just to get height, but it does still send you forward a bit, and now you're in sight of the opponents when obviously you need to be backing up. Here would have been good, in fact.
Did someone call for it?
Doesn't matter.
A speedy recovery. I'm taking care of you. Damage amplified.
Again, you can close this angle. You don't need to be out here where they can potentially hit you. You can do this from here, and you can look this way, see if there's threats you need to be worried about.
You make a great team. I empower you. Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Don't you dare.
My servants never die.
You're all over me.
Why do you think you can do this? You pop Valk, like that somehow makes it better. It gives you a little more mobility and a little more health regen, but you still don't get very much mobility during a res. Glad that you got this boop here. I'm really glad that you got this boop. Um, okay, this was not very likely to work out at all. Like, you have a Junkrat right here, you have the entire team right here. Your only cover is this Pharah, and this Pharah was smart enough to throw down a boop. Usually you don't go for this kind of res without a tank calling that they'll cover it. Defense matrix, bubble, standing on top of you, something. This is a high risk res, and it's a high risk res that doesn't even get you anything, because even if you hit this res, your team doesn't win this fight. Like, you're using Valk, you're going in for a high risk res, and it's a low reward res, because you're still going to be in a situation where you look at this and it's like, okay, we hit the res and we're still behind. That's not very good. That's not very good at all. We don't want to go for a res that's likely to cost us our life, likely to cost us our cooldown, and we're still going to be behind in the fight. That's not what we want. When it's reses, you're looking to do a couple things. You're looking to go, okay, I hit a res that gets us, maybe I hit a res that gets us back into the fight faster. Okay, that can be a thing. You know, you're going, hey, it's a 6v6, they got one, it's a 6v5, I hit a nice safe res. Good. Or it's a relatively even fight, and I hit a res to put us up one, or a res to make it even again. Those are good reses. Reses when you're behind by more than one become significantly less good, and reses that are risky can still totally be good if they make it even or they make it +1 again. Those can totally be good reses, but they need some level of cover, and they need to have like a 70% chance of success. They can't have a 30% chance of success, a 40% chance of success. And I'd argue that's more the territory that this res was. You also invested a Valk into this res, and even if you got this res, it wasn't going to pay off. You're looking for either the really safe reses that are obvious that put you even or +1, or you're looking for the like more likely than not to succeed reses, but at a time when it's going to put your team even or +1, not at a time when your team is still going to be behind. That's what you're looking for with the res ability.
Where does it go? Damage spells upon you.
Pivot, pivot. Okay. So you needed to realize who was in more danger there. Genji's in danger. Totally get it. But Genji is deflecting. You've got the chain going, you've got the chain going, you've got the chain going. I'll live.
You've got this. I've got enemy contact.
I'm feeling some good vibrations.
Please go with your Pharah. Where did your Pharah get to? Yeah, you'd be quite happy here. You'd be quite happy chilling here up in the sky with your Pharah. You'd do some work. Super jump, nice.
Enchanting your damage.
Okay, so you messed that up, but it wouldn't have been safe anyways. You were thinking, hey, I'm going to do something cool and res them from here where they can't get me. Hog probably could have still hooked your foot and it would have counted because, you know, hog stuff works like that. You also had the Pharah above that could have punished you with a rocket, could have canceled it with an E. Maybe that is what happened. Like, this wasn't great. You've got to understand your res is better. You're not looking for like the 30% success chance res. You're looking for the 60, 70, 80% chance success res. 80 might be a bit high. I mean, if you can get an 80, a 90, 100, great. But you're looking for those higher, more likely than not to succeed reses that make the fight even or +1. You're not looking for someone went down, so I have to res them. No, that does not necessarily follow.
Damage and fire.
You gonna Guardian out?
Where does it go?
That was just poor target control. You had time to heal that target.
Right beside you.
Interesting. Swap targets. Swapped you Lucio for 1 moment. Back to Genji. Okay, that should have been damage boost on
Did
Genji.
someone call for a bit? Fall back. Shut in and stop. I will not waste this opportunity.
No, you're not in this. Your Pharah's wrong. You have my permission to abandon this Pharah. Oh boy. Yeah. But again, this is different. You had my permission to abandon your Pharah when your Pharah was going this deep into a 2v6. When your Pharah was here, I wanted you with the Pharah because this was still space that your team had enough influence over. You also had the option to go, I'm helping my Pharah, I'm helping my Pharah. Oh, things go south, I can get out.
Starting over from the
Anyone
beginning.
else want to do their jobs today?
Point same.
Move the payload.
Did someone call for help?
So this is the kind of situation where the fight is even enough that a res makes a difference, and your Zarya probably called that they were going to bubble you. So I am okay with this res. This is basically exactly what we were talking about for this is the type of res you're looking for. Now, you get barraged and that's life, but
This is not your time.
wow.
Don't let up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you that ultimate.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Ooh.
Damage amplified. That's the healing skill. Don't stop now.
Your team is going to struggle if they don't get control of high ground against this defensive Pharah.
60 seconds.
I still have
It's not a great res. Reason that's not a great res is you are down 2. All this res is doing is making it so that your team is back faster, and I don't even know which of those went down more recently. Let's look. So the D.Va actually went down first.
60 seconds.
And now you're resing the
Have
D.Va,
news for you.
and that does nothing. And the reason that does nothing is because since the D.Va went down first, and they're both on 10-second respawn timers, the D.Va's 10 seconds will be more through, so you resing it is taking away 7, 6, 5 seconds of their respawn timer, whereas the Lucio had the longer respawn timer. That's not the one you shortened, and they're still going to have to get back from spawn before your team has 6 and can really make a push. So this wasn't the right person to res, and if the Lucio wasn't in a place where you could res them, that's, you can't res this, that's fine. You don't want to res either of them. You'd rather have your res cooldown than do this res, because this res does not make your next push come faster.
Ich bin da.
Again, we're not resing people just to res them. We're resing them when it's a difference maker.
My servants never die.
My healing spell is upon you.
Are we on the visor? Are we tethered to the visor? Now we are.
Well done.
30 seconds.
You wanted her.
I'm with you. Shout, step.
Enemy contact.
Let's get you
Oh
that
boy.
ultimate. Pick up the pace. We
Okay.
can do this.
Gonna see what your D.Va's up to? Too late.
Move it out.
How did you miss that? You're sort of looking for a way out with this D.Va, and you're looking to heal them, and they give it to you right here. If you press Guardian, you go. You just didn't press the button.
Get over here.
I'm taking care of you. Helden sterben nicht.
It's the super jump, pivot to your Pharah, pivot to your Pharah. Fine.
Did someone call for a witch?
I will not wait.
Your soldier's more reliable for taking this down, so that's how you damage boost. after you'd healed your Pharah, but that's okay.
My damage spell is upon you. Let's get you back out there.
Generally, you'd look to go, hey, someone's using a high damage ability like micro missiles, I'm going to damage boost that. That said, nothing super interesting was going on. Interesting. Our support frontline. Our Lucio Mercy Pharah frontline. Okay.
60 seconds.
Good. Play from here.
Up now. Where does it hurt?
Turn back, find your team.
I will empower you.
Good. So this is one of the situations where it could be a difference maker. If you look at how this fight is balanced out, you're down 2, they're down 1, a res puts you back at 5v5, so that could be worth doing. So you have to decide which of those is more important. Do you want the Zarya or do you want the Lucio? And most of the time your answer would probably be the Zarya, but in this situation, hey, the Zarya is going to come back with 0 energy. That would always be true. And the Lucio has beat, so the res on the Lucio is potentially more interesting, and they're both in the same spot. So the res on the Lucio is usually what you'd go for, and you can get either safely. Okay. I'd have still preferred that you use the wall, use the pillar a bit more for your res as opposed to the cart. The pillar is the better, more stable cover, but this is okay. And you were right behind your diva, so that was good too.
Tactical visor activated.
You need to be damage boosting this, not healing it. No, you wanted to stay on your soldier who was visoring.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Beside you.
30 seconds. Cease your resistance.
Enemy contact. We all
Damage spell is upon you.
Its destination.
My service
Fine.
never dies.
Good.
I'm on fire.
Yo Temporal, I got put in a 3.9 game with 4K and not players and got absolutely pumped. I don't know why matchmaking did it to me, but nice, Jumbo. Good to hear. It can be a little weird in the beginning of the season, but good to hear. Or, you know, maybe you're moving up in the world. You know, it could be very unsure about your SR. You've been making good gains. Now, you haven't been making gains up to 3940, but you've been making good games. Maybe its uncertainty factor on you might be high right now, so it might be going, yeah, let's see how he does in this game.
I'm on fire.
Beam.
Well done.
Okay. Good stuff. So, the biggest thing we're seeing so far is you seem to like reses for the sake of reses, and again, that's not how we use reses. We use reses when they're going to be the difference maker, when it makes the fight even or makes us go plus in the fight. We don't use reses when we're down multiple people in the fight, and it's just not real for us to get back into the fight. We also don't go for reses between fights just to speed up our respawn if it's not the most recent person who went down, because it's not speeding up when we can take our next fight. Okay. Now we're playing some Bath. And then the other thing for Mercy is you are still a little bit of a heal bot. You need to be looking more for, hey, can I get blue beam? Who can I get good blue beam off of? And for that game, most of the time it was Pharah, though your Pharah was not the safest with her life, and Soldier, who Soldier is a very reliable blue beam target.
Over here. We.
Good stuff though, Jumbo.
Over here.
Get a little better, and you can see those games more regularly. They do feel a little better.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective
But
A.
nice progress for you.
I'll shape order from chaos.
everyone heal up.
Regen burst activated.
Here you are. You're not firing any shots, So you can be left clicking right now. There's targets up there that you can be left clicking at, even if all you hit is a barrier, or you can try and take a shot at the Pharaoh, which would be great. There's a right click. There's another right click. Why are you shifting? You didn't take any damage. And your Lucio's fine too. You don't need to be shifting here. You're spending a cooldown that you don't want to.
Burst activated. Get in here.
Okay. Play the angle. Jump. You don't have it charged. There's your shift again. Okay. I haven't seen you weave once. It's been all either left click, left click, left click, or right click, right click, right click. We're gonna need to fix this. Okay. Everyone is plenty high enough on health except maybe your baby diva. So you're throwing out a right click, and now you need to throw a left click. You need to just left click in this general direction. There's enemies over here. Even if you can't see anything, left click in this general direction. There's a delay between your right clicks. When you throw a right click, there's quite a bit of time between right clicks. The recoil, effectively, the delay between shots on your right clicks is pretty long. And what you're supposed to do to fill that is you're supposed to go left click. So you throw out a right click here, and then you can throw out a left click because you can't throw another right click yet. So even if all you're getting out of that left click is barrier damage to the other team's Reinhardt, as an example, they don't have a Reinhardt, but even if you're just putting a little bit of pressure on them, that's better than just waiting for your next right click. Unless you need that next right click to be literally the instant it's available, you want to go left click, right click, left click, right click, or right click, left click, right click, left click, whichever way you want to think about that. So until people get down to like 20, 30% life, at which case you might go, no, I'm just doing right clicks. I'm not even thinking about left clicks. If you can line your crosshair up like it is now, where the opponents are here and your teammates that need healing are here, or the opponents are here and your teammates that need healing are here, where they're very short flicks between your shots, you want to be alternating them. If you're not getting enough value out of BAP, because what BAP brings to fights is he does bring heals. As a support, he does bring heals, and he brings pretty good heals, but he also brings lamp and damage. If you're not taking advantage of his damage, you are leaving a lot on the table for this hero, and I do mean a lot. He is not a good enough support if you are not taking advantage of the fact that he brings a lot of damage. Or put another way, the fact that he brings a lot of damage is a big part of his kit. You can't just leave it on the table. There's a shift. That one was fine. Again, you can be weaving here. You can be, hey, I shot the one heal to bring my Lucio up a little, then I take a shot at the ball, then I shoot my Lucio again, then I take a shot at the ball, then I shoot at my Reinhardt. That's what you're looking to do in these situations. When you'd have to do a big pivot, like, hey, I have to do a right click on my Rein, then a left click on the Moira, then a right click on the Rein, then a left click on the Moira, those are too big. That's not going to work. So you just go, hey, I'm going to right click my Rein. But you would then try to change your positioning to get to a place like here where you can do those shifts. Or like here, where you can do those crosshair flicks, because they become smaller flicks. Okay. Hopefully that helps.
Get in here. Get in here.
Is that lamp for you? Is that lamp for Reinhardt? Reinhardt's fine. And if it was for you, it's weird because you wanted to back up to here, not just stand in the middle like this. That's weird.
Enemy contact.
Maintain that positive attitude.
Reality bends to my will.
Your team is in this fight. Okay. We lost some travel time, but we're back. Reload. Reload. Everyone's fine. Reload. Reload. Okay. you're doing a lot of pre-healing, and when you're doing pre-healing like this, I don't want you going down to 3, 4, 5 shots. I want you going down to like 6, 7 shots. If you go down to 3, 4, 5 shots, the amount of pre-healing you were doing, the amount of I'm throwing projectiles in case they take damage, they'll instantly get healed, that stops being worth it once you get to a point where I'm deep enough into my clip that I'm going to have to reload early into the fight. There's a trade-off there where, hey, a little bit of pre-healing value can be useful because it means if the fight starts, there's already an aid on the way to heal them. Hey, that has some value. But the cost that we're balancing that against is your reload does take some time. There's a little bit of time. There's a chunk in time where it's like heal, and then heal because you had to go through a reload. And with that in mind, if we're on these first couple here, or okay, maybe those aren't perfectly spaced, where it's like, yep, okay, that's pre-healing. No, now we don't want to keep throwing out pre-healing because now the fight actually starts, and let's say the fight actually starts here. Or no, let's forget that. Let's say the fight actually starts here on this last one. Well, if we don't hit our reload, we've only got 3 more shots, and then we have to do this long reload. And that's a shame, and the benefit that we got out of these pre-heals, really the benefit we got out of in case the fight happens, there's already a heal on the way, doesn't outweigh the loss of being able to heal during the fight. So after like 3 shots or so, if your team really isn't taking damage and the fight really hasn't started, go ahead and hit your reload. Again, you wanted to work your way up to here. You really do want high ground positions behind your team. Those are sort of your optimal positions as Bat because it gives you small flicks between heal my team, shoot the Lucio, heal my team, shoot the Lucio.
Light them up.
Bastion on the attack, Lucio, Moira with Pharah. Yeah, I know. Okay. This is good positioning. Don't drop. Reload. This is what we're talking about. Reload. They're not taking enough damage to justify your clip being this empty. Perfect example. Now you're actually having to reload. Only the last 3 of those shots were actually valuable, and now you're having to reload while your Lucio is critical and your D.Va is half. See how that works? That's why I wanted you to reload earlier. By the way, you didn't need that lamp. You are way too willing to throw this lamp out.
Get in here.
Like, I get it, but they did get healed up a little. Your Lucio did cave and pop amp. You don't need this lamp.
Regen up.
Justice reigns.
So that D.Va's full. That D.Va's full. That D.Va's still full. That D.Va's still full. So you had 2 options here. You could have accepted that the D.Va was full and have just been pelting the Roadhog in the head with damage shots, or you could have said, no, I think the Roadhog is going to hurt the D.Va, and you could have alternated between heal shots on the D.Va and damage shots on the Roadhog. Either would have been significantly better than what you did. Yeah, I mean, not anytime, but when someone gets hooked by a Roadhog, that can be a use of lamp. When Barrage comes out, that can be a good use of lamp, sure. But you don't have those if you use poor lamps. Better lamp, though you needed to get out of there. And again, would kind of like to get to here and then rotate over to here.
Well, it could be worse.
Objective lost.
Join me.
We.
Stop the payload.
Get out of there. Over here.
Game on.
High ground. High ground. High ground. High ground. Bad shift.
Regen up.
Whatever. You were missing 184, 26 health? Yeah, I would have preferred you not use that shift yet. Okay, are we just firing healing shots, or are we going to fire some offensive shots? I know the answer, but...
Get in here. Light them up.
I don't think so. Wait, you're kidding me. So you have a window, you have a sim wall down. You throw the lamp at her because you need to reload, and better than having to reload during the coalescence that is now ended.
Get in here.
I'm going to say that you were still worried about the coalescence, and there were 2 critical people there a moment ago. Unfortunately, the Rhine charge is out of it, it looks like. Maybe. That's not your fault. So I can live with this lamp because I'm pretending that it was in response to the coalescence or the fair that's through the wall.
Light them up.
Now you hit this window. You have a window up, you have a sim wall up, you have a lamp up, and your first shot is a heal shot. Like, really? Really? With the sim wall and the lamp, you're gonna spend your window healing people? No. Damage. Damage. Do some damage.
Oh, let's break it. Damn.
Good. Sim's fine. Take your offensive shots. Okay.
Get in here. Regen burst activated. Get inside.
Are we still pre-healing our Rhine? It's taking a little bit of damage, okay. The shots on Pharaoh would have been way more valuable, but okay.
Get in here.
Okay, so you tried to throw that further and you just got caught on the pillar. Go to cart. You can't get out of this. Just go to cart. You're staggering yourself. You were literally okay. You're still staggering yourself, but hey. Don't back away. That was fine.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
What's he shooting at? Yeah, that's a good question. But that's okay. He just fundamentally doesn't understand that you need to be weaving with BAP. Like you need to be weaving as BAP, and to be weaving as BAP, you set up your positioning correctly to weave as BAP, which means you try to get behind your team or above and behind your team, so that it's very small crosshair movements from your team to the opponents. So that it's easy to go right click, left click, right click, left click, or right click, left click, left click, right click, left click, left click. But okay. Leave, leave. Don't you dare.
Light them up.
Your team is back here. They're not going to use this window and this lamp how you think they are to take down this bastion. Your team is back here. You gotta pay attention to so ult timings are about ult timings are very similar to engagement timings. You got to do them when your team can actually take advantage of them. Even if they're not a support ult that is like, oh, this is for my team to do work. Even if it's something aggressive like a blade, you want to use it when your team is going to be aggressively pushing, aggressively doing work. Your team is not aggressively doing work. They're trying to peel a Pharah, we'll effectively say. They're trying to drive off this target. Even if you do a ton of work with this, your team is not going to be doing work while you're doing this, so the entire rest of this enemy team is going to get to focus on you, or focus on your lamp than you. Even if your team wasn't using your window, even if this was just a personal window, you'd still want your team up here, up here, up here, where they're threatening, where this fight is happening when you use this. Now, windows can be used a little earlier than other ults. They can even be used to deny an initiation. It's part of an initiation. They get a little more leeway, but this is just not good. It still needs to be when your team is in a position to do work, to threaten the other team. You're just wasting your ult here. You just dragged your team into a Bastion sightline. And of course your lamp was gone by the time they got there.
I'll be watching over you. Your support has arrived. Increase.
I hear you, dragon.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Happy to have you here, Super Kashuka.
Starting over from the beginning.
Okay, so we've talked about your Mercy, we talked about your Reses, and you're not blue beaming enough. We talk about BAP, and what we talk about with BAP is specifically going to be you need to weave your shots. Like, you have to weave your shots. There's just not a good enough reason to play the hero if you weave your shots. You don't play BAP so that you go, I heal sometimes, I do damage sometimes. It's I do both. Sometimes you go full heal, sometimes you go full damage, but most of the time, like 70% of the time, you're looking to be weaving. You're looking to be going, hey, right click, left click, or some combination thereof, where between right clicks, you're getting in one or more left clicks. That's how you do it, because his kit is designed for that. It's specifically set up so that there's an intentional delay between his right clicks and when you can fire them. And to enable that, you go ahead and set yourself up behind your team so that you can very easily pivot between shooting at your team and shooting at the opponent, and preferably you set yourself up above and behind your team so that you can take advantage of the grenade's arc to easily hit your team while doing these pivots to shoot at the enemy team, shoot at your team. And then the final thing for BAP is going to be you need to go ahead and watch your pre-healing. You do a lot of pre-healing before the fight has started when everyone is pretty darn healthy, and you can do some pre-healing, but you need to hit your reloads earlier when you're doing pre-healing. None of this 3 ammo reload, none of this 0 ammo reload in pre-healing. You want to hit more like 7 ammo reloads when you're pre-healing. Yeah, we're almost there, Blah.
I need healing.
I can probably get us there with either another mini guide or a composition walkthrough guide, but not like an hour one, like a 15-minute composition walkthrough like I used to do. I was going to do Brawl. I might still do it, but...
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Everyone, move together.
Hey, Midget Midget.
Fully healed.
I promise you, Orisa didn't need that.
Fully healed.
Orisa's gonna fortify at that health, and her fortify is cheaper than your lamp. We don't want to lamp that. We just wanted to heal her. Right click, left click, right click, left click, right click, left click. Even if you can't really see exactly what you're shooting at, you know there's blue stuff over there that you want to be shooting at. And that's going to have to be good enough. Yeah, we're getting there. We're close. We're close. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay, I can talk about that, blah.
60 seconds remaining.
You all look like you needed some healing. Got you good as new. Get in here.
That's still pretty early with your lamp. I mean, like, I know you've lost people, but, or I know that,
You're going
sorry,
to be
words are hard. So we're
got you
here.
good as new.
No, I can live with the lamp on that. He was down to less than 2 bars.
Get in here.
Okay. It's not great, but okay. So again, you want to be charging your boots to get up here. This is where you want to play from. Heal Diva, shoot at Bastion. Heal Diva, shoot at Bastion. Heal Diva, shoot at Bastion. That's what you're looking to do. There's our window, which we have to use because otherwise we drop the points. Okay. And I don't think you've got anything left in this.
Cool heads, steady hands. We're almost there.
No, that's over. Okay. So I think we already covered everything. I will do my quick recap for you on Mercy. Remember, we are looking for reses when they are difference makers in a fight. We are not resing just for the sake of using our cooldown, just for the sake of making someone alive. We are resing when it's going to change the fight from us being down 1 to us being even, or when it is going to put us ahead in a fight. We are not resing just for the sake of resing. When we are resing between fights, we're not going to bother resing unless we're resing the most recent person to have been eliminated. Because if it wasn't the most recent person to have been eliminated, it doesn't let us take the next fight any sooner. And it does give us a 30-second cooldown, which is a big deal. Then we talked about the yellow versus blue beam. Look more for blue beams than you are. You need to adjust your calibration towards the blue beam. Trust me, especially when you have a Moira, they're going to be doing the bulk of the healing, and you want to enable someone, a Pharah, a soldier, to do more work. It really does add up. It really is quite important. I promise that I'm not just blowing smoke. You want to get more blue beam done. That is going to let your DPS do more. It's going to let your team actually fish for eliminations a lot better. Damage boost is really, really, really powerful. It's why they nerfed Zen recently, because he had a damage boost for everyone, and that was too powerful. Mercy's blue beam isn't that powerful, but Mercy is still really good at enabling a Pharah, a soldier, an Ashe to play more aggressive, knowing that they have that heal source, knowing that they have that extra damage boost. Like, it's really good. Don't leave it on the table. With your BAP, you just need to fundamentally change how you play the hero. You need to be looking to play the hero for weaving. So you get the heal, you get the damage. You get the damage, you get the heal. You get the heal, you get the damage. You get the heal, you get the damage. You're looking to alternate like that, and you position so that that's going to be the case. This is okay positioning right now. You can heal your team, and you can heal your team right here, and you can put your crosshair up right there and shoot through, and there's something over there. Even if you can't tell exactly what it is, it's something else on the other team. You're going to shoot at it, and that's good enough. So your positioning to make that happen is behind your team, or if the fight's happening a little closer, above and behind your team. And then your pre-healing, again, once you lose like 3-4 shots of heals, it's time to hit your reload if you're pre-healing. If you're actually getting heals done, you can keep doing the healing. That's fine. But if you have used 3-4 shots of pre-healing, it's time to reload so that when the fight actually does break out, you're not left with 2 shots, 1 shot, 0 shots, any of that. Okay. Question wise, do I have anything? If you guys have questions, throw them up in chat. If you're enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what my rates look like, as well as see what sort of events we have coming up, because we do have a internal on the server scrim that we will be doing on Sunday, and you can see the timing for that, react if you're going to be able to be there so that we know how many lobbies we need to set up, and we'll go through that that. I'll do some coaching. Maybe we'll get someone else in here. It'll be fun, and we'll stream that. Okay. Let's take a look. Question-wise, what character should I pick / avoid based on what my teammates choose would be a great video. I'll see what I can do that. So you don't get a Lucio Moira with a Pharah as an example. Yeah, okay. It confused me when you said the Mercy Moira. I'm like, Mercy Moira with the Pharah was okay. It's not amazing, but it was okay. Lucio Moira is much better as your Pharah is just not going to get any healing. Overwatch good manners and etiquette. GG, thanks for the tips. Everything I do is wrong. We fix it one thing at a time. We fix it one thing at a time there. Okay. That's going to do it, and I'm going to take a break, but I expect I will be streaming again later this evening. Thanks, guys.